love, like a fairy tale. But in reality, love is mostly just what's inside. It's not all about the outside. And it's just having that good connection with somebody else. And that to me is love.
When I first started looking for somebody, I always wanted, I wanted to see their true colors first, and I didn't always want them to hide, like, I always wanted to be, the real personality never did come out at first, and Christy's always came out first. She never did change. I've known her for 2 years, and she hasn't changed very much. So I pretty much knew what I was going to get into 2 years ago when I first met her.
Ideal man, when I was younger, was an attorney, rich. I was going to have a big house, a butler, that kind of thing. But the ideal man is somebody who is hardworking, who likes the same things I like, who will work at love, who will communicate, and somebody that I just connect with right away.
In a perfect marriage, I always wanted 2 kids, a nice house in the country, maybe sitting on a lake or a river or a creek, living out somewhere not out in town or out just a real quiet area, and just having a dog and kids always playing with the dogs. It's simple. I knew somebody was going to be out there for me, I just didn't know it was her. She ignored me 3 or 4 times on internet, and she never did talk to me, so I finally met her in person. Hook, line, sinker, I guess. I finally hooked her.
It was love at first sight, I have to say. I knew from that night that he was the one I was going to marry.
No. I really did like Christy at first sight, but it wasn't love at the first sight because I didn't know if she was actually going to call me back, or even if she gave me the right phone number, because I figured she gave me the wrong number just to get rid of me that night because she was with another guy. So, but after when she called me back the second time, I knew it was going to work out, and then I knew to open my heart up to her and love her.
It was love at first sight.
We met at this bar. It's called the Rustic Frog, and one of my friends actually brought her in on a date, and they was doing karaoke that night, and actually when they was doing karaoke that night, he kept on taking off and talking with other friends, and I finally got up the nerve to go over there and talk to her. So I finally went over there and talked to her and asked her her name, and she gave me her name, and she said, "Oh, my name's Christy," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm Doug," and so I'm like, "Well, do you like, you know, country music?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna sing you a song," and I go upstage, sing a song, and I totally said the wrong name to the song. I said Kristen. I was close, but not quite. And I get back and I ask her how she liked her song, and she's like, "It was great, but who's Kristen?" So we met. I never did think I would meet somebody like that. I always watched movies and stuff like that, and I always heard of, you know, people doing it, but I never did think I would do it. Never did think that would happen.
Well, the first time we met, he actually walked up to me, and it wasn't just the kind of walk up and say hi, it was running up to me and just started being Doug, just talk. And he asked me for my phone number, and for some reason at that exact time I knew that was exactly what it was, and so that's how we met.
When we met at the Frog, And then we planned to come back at the Frog the next day I was meeting all my work friends from there. We was having a go-away party for somebody from work. And so we planned to all meet back, and I told her to meet me back, and she's like, oh yeah. And so we all met back at this bar, and she brought the date that she first met with, and I knew it the first time when I kissed her, and the inside of me just kind of, it almost felt like butterflies going through my stomach. And then next thing I know, I hear the guy that she came in with come around the corner, what the hell are you doing? That's when I knew I got the right one. First time I met her, I wanted to say I cannot do anything. I can be myself around her because I know she would laugh and bring out her personality.
Yes, he was. Actually, there was never really asking me out. It was more or less just approaching me and saying, okay, I want your number and this is how it's going to be.
I asked her to give me their phone number. I asked her to marry me. I asked her to move in with me. I'm the one that wears the pants in the family.
He actually proposed. We had talked about it for a while. We had went, and the night that we started to pick out rings, we walked into a jewelry store and we picked out the ring right then and there. He waited until Friday the 13th, right before Valentine's Day, to propose. So we got engaged on Friday the 13th.
Well, she didn't see the ring. I was wondering how I was going to get her to see the ring without actually saying, Christy, will you marry me? Because I was wanting to get on my knees first, and I couldn't get on my knees because we was in a booth. So I had to do it from the table, and when I done it from the table, I said, Christy, look at your glass. And she finally saw the ring. I said, now will you marry me?
Well, he had the restaurant that we went to, he had them put the ring on a glass of champagne, and he went to propose, and I didn't see the ring on the champagne glass, so it was a little bit difficult for him, but he had to pretty much just come right out and be like, Christy, it's on the glass.
Her personality would be the main thing. Her personality is fantastic. I love it to death. It brings out the personality in me, and then she's honest and she'll tell you how it is. The second thing is her body. It's shaped and curved just so perfect how I like people. And I know it's not always not only the outside what counts, but the inside's perfect, so now I have to go for the outside too.
His personality. He likes to have fun, and it shows. He's a very outgoing, sensitive, caring, but really friendly person, and that's what I admire most about him. And I do. I think that's what I like most about him.
I hope to live in a big house in the country with 2 kids and a couple dogs and have a horse and just live till we grow old together. Grow old and wrinkly and gray hair and just, I just hope we have a very long life together.
We want to get a house. We want to have kids. That all-American dream of getting a house, you know. Want to have kids, be together, have fun. Basically do what we do now, except maybe have kids down the road. So, other than that, no big plans for the future, Doug.
It's the wedding day. I hope it runs everything so smooth, and then I can't wait to see Christy in a white dress. I think I'm really gonna cry when I see her. She's gonna look beautiful.
Other than it finally being over with, just uniting as one with him and starting our life together as a married couple. It's the first day of the rest of our lives. Doug has met my expectations of what I would want in a perfect mate, yes.
I think I love her. I think